Alright, this is my first ride on the Haoqi Antelope Pro. This is a 750 watt rear hub motor with a whopping 25 amp hours of battery. It does have dual batteries. It has a 15 amp hour in the back and a 10 amp hour up in the frame. And they are blended, so you don't have to worry about swapping batteries or tapping any buttons or anything like that. They just basically have the batteries acting as one. So it's a total of 25 amp hours on a full charge. I just literally got it yesterday, put it together yesterday, and charged the batteries last night. So this is our first ride together. So it looks like the throttle is controlled by the pedal assist levels, meaning if you have it on PAS1, the throttle is going to be limited to whatever the PAS1 setting is. So currently I think it's about 10 miles an hour, 9 or 10 miles an hour roughly. You go to 2. Okay, so we're about 8 or 9 on 1 and about 10 on 2, almost 11. So it looks like pedal assist 3 on throttle only, we're getting about 12 miles an hour. Level 4 should move up a couple. Okay, maybe 4 is more at 15, 14, and then 5 should get us up to 20. Yeah. So 5's at 20. We'll stop here in a little bit and we'll try to unlock this. When you first power on the bike, you hit this menu button until it says MXS up here on the display. And then you push and hold these 2 buttons. Once you get on MXS, after you hit those 2 buttons, it'll start flashing. And the max you can go up to is 72 kilometers. And then you just exit by hitting the middle button again, the power button. And it takes you back to the screen, and it should be unlocked now. So let's go test it. We're going to leave it on PAS 5 now for the rest of the ride. So your throttle and your PAS are all controlled by the numbers of PAS on there. So if you have it on 1 and you're using your throttle and you're only doing like 8 or 9 miles an hour, well, hit your up button over here and that'll increase your speed. Out of the box it does 20 miles an hour. Oh, look at the little baby deer. Hey! Out of the box it does 20 miles an hour. And unlocked it says it's supposed to do 28. We didn't get there yet, but we're climbing this hill pretty good. I'd say this is probably like a 4 or 5% grade. Doesn't look like we're gonna hit 28 miles an hour with throttle only. There's no way I could pedal to 28 miles an hour, but we'll try it, I guess. Now we're just gonna cruise on this road. Yeah, we're not hitting no 28 miles an hour pedaling. I'll try to keep a steady pace. It said 28 there, but we're going downhill a little bit. Yeah, there's no way. I was pedaling as hard as I could. But 27, 26, 27, that's pretty good. And 26 throttle, that's decent. But for the price, I definitely think it should hit 28. Yeah, the pedal assist sensor is very responsive. It is supposed to be really nice this weekend, so I'm planning on getting a lot of riding in and a lot of filming in. Definitely excited to start reviewing new e-bikes again. So this is my first one since coming back. I got another one at home we'll review another day, but I plan on taking both bikes out this weekend again. I just had to get out tonight. It was too nice. It's like 70 degrees out. Feels wonderful. Now this hill is probably, if I had to guess, 7%. Maybe it gets up to 8. It's climbing it pretty good, 12 miles an hour. It's a little bit steeper here. Still steadily holding 12. I'd say that's pretty good. Definitely sounds like the motor's working. So if I were to buy upgrades for this bike to make it a little bit more comfortable, I would first get an adjustable stem. Raise your handlebars up a little bit. I can leave some links in the description for that. They're pretty inexpensive. And then a new good seat. Something like a Bikeroo or a Cloud9 or X-Wing. I think the brand that I have with the real wide shape. Those seats are super comfortable. And I think those are really the only immediate changes I would make. Oh, maybe new grips. But I'll leave some links in the description of things that I think would improve this bike. But other than that, it's got quite a bit of power. It's doing really good on these hills. Getting decent speed. We got dual batteries, so we don't have to worry about range too much. I haven't even looked at the voltage gauge, to be honest with you. Maybe we will. But I wish they would have put hydraulic brakes on here for sure. Not that these brakes are not doing good, they are doing good, but hydraulic brakes are just so much better, and it's not very much more expensive to install them. I'm not a real fan of the SIS index, but it always has worked well for me. I just don't like the way it looks. The trigger shifters are much more appealing, a little bit more stealthy. I like the way they work. The display is pretty decent. It's not like fancy or anything, but it definitely has a big speedometer, so you can just glance down and see what you're doing real quick. And it's got a lot of information on here, so So here are my final thoughts on the Haoqi Antelope Pro. I'm just going to go over a few things and what I think this bike is really good for and who I think it's meant for. So I think this is really good for a small family or someone who wants to go out and get groceries with their bike and doesn't want something that really stands out, because this bike's pretty plain. The only thing that really stands out are the wheels, and I think it's a subtle enhancement of this bike, are those rims. I think they look really, really good. The batteries are nice to have 2 of them. So you have 25 amp hours in capacity, and in layman's terms, that basically means you get about 40 to 50 miles on throttle only. I have not tested the range yet, but if that's something you guys would like me to do, please leave a comment down below and let me know. I think it's a pretty slick looking bike. I think that the styling is, you know, it's simple, but definitely comfortable. I would highly recommend getting a new seat though. Most e-bikes you have to do that. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Now it does have a center kickstand down here. As you can see, it's mounted in the middle of the bike, so it makes it real stable, and that's why I say it's really good for a family, because you can mount like a child seat up here and be able to take your kid around for rides. One thing that I wish Haoqi would implement on this bike is a way to lock these handlebars in place. So when you do have it sitting here and you come over here and you try to load something up and you shake the bike, the handlebars still stay straight. Unfortunately, because of the way it's set up, they do stay in place pretty good, but as soon as you go over here and start messing with the rear, this is just really loose and doesn't stay in place really well with this center kickstand. They call this a cargo bike. To me it looks like a smaller cargo bike, I guess. They're calling it a cargo bike because of that center stand, and that gives it a lot more stability. So you can walk over here and literally push your bike and you don't have to worry about it falling over. That's why I say I think it's good for picking up groceries or having your child on the back. And just, they make child seats that go on the back of the rear racks. You just got to make sure that it stays within the weight limit, which on this bike is 25 kilograms. So you can put like a basket to haul like a bag of groceries if you're just a single person. I just think it's set up really well. Now it is a little pricey, but it does have a pretty big battery capacity, so that's what you're paying for here. Everything else is pretty standard. You have mechanical brakes, SIS index, a plain black and white screen, which does have a lot of information on it, but it is pretty plain. Now you can turn that on by pushing and holding up, which will also turn on the headlight, and then your screen lights up as well for nighttime. And then you got your controller panel over here with your bell, all that's included. Then your twist throttle is right here, and that is how you operate the bike when it is turned on a PAS level. So right now it's at 0. This does not work. You do have a rear tail light, which also functions as a brake light, which is really nice, and it's bright, super bright, very safe for the road. And I think this bike is just a really safe bike. You won't get messed with on the bike trails. Nobody's going to say, hey, you're riding an e-bike, you can't be on the bike trails with this bike, because it's pretty simple, and I think that's where it shines. So if you guys are interested in picking up a Haoqi Antelope Pro, there will be a link down in the description. If you decide to purchase one, it does directly help out the channel, and allows me to keep making more content like this. And if you like this content and you want to see more about the Haoqi Antelope Pro or any of my other e-bikes, then hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing a lot of videos. I got one coming out about the Ebike X26 on Monday coming up, so stay tuned for that. And I am upgrading the setup with lighting and making it a little bit better to film and make our videos a little better. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Remember, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I upload. Like this video if you want to see more e-bike content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.